Hey there and welcome to a new video. In today's video, we will be solving a data transformation tricky SQL interview question. So you have a table of survey responses where each row represents one answer to one question from one respondent. Now we have to make use of this table to obtain the survey response into record format. So basically we have to do some data transformation. So for that we are creating a table that is the survey response table. The DDL and DML will be available in the description. So we have already created the table. Let us query the table and see what is the schema. So here is the table that we have created, which is the survey responses table, which has got respondent ID, question text corresponding to each of the question ID, and then the response value. So from this input table, we have to transform the format and we have to obtain the output in a different format. So the expected output I have created in Excel. Let us take a look at that. So this is the same table now which we saw in SSMS, and this is the output that we are trying to obtain. So when we go through the input table or the given table, we can see we have a respondent ID column, then we have question ID and question text. Then corresponding to each of the respondent ID, question ID and question text, we have different responses. Now in the output table, we have respondent ID as a single column, then there is satisfaction level which is corresponding to a question ID, that is 101. Then the second question will be 102, which is corresponding to recommend to friends, that is the third column in the output. And finally we have a fourth column which is the favorite feature, which is corresponding to question ID 103. So corresponding to each of the question ID and respondent ID, we have different responses, and all those responses have been populated here corresponding to each of the respondent ID and different questions. So this is the output that we have to obtain using the input table. Now let us go back to SSMS and see how we can obtain the output using two different methods. In the first method, we are going to make use of the concept of conditional aggregation. For that, the first column that we require is the respondent ID. Then the second column will be satisfaction level. Then the third column will be recommended to friends, and fourth column will be favorite feature corresponding to each of the question ID. So here we will write a select, and this is taken from survey responses column, that is survey underscore responses column. And the first column that we require will be the respondent ID column, that is respondent underscore ID column, comma. And now we have to make use of the conditional aggregation logic. Here we will make use of the aggregate function. We can make use of any aggregate function that we know, either min, max, sum. All aggregate function will give us the right result. Here we are going to use the aggregate function maximum, that is max of open and close parenthesis, and we have to write the case statement, that is case when question underscore ID equal 101, then take the response value, that is response underscore value, and the case statement. And this column we will name as satisfaction level, because the question text corresponding to question ID 101 is satisfaction level. So here it will be satisfaction level underscore level. Similarly, we have to write two more aggregate function along with the case statement. We will copy the same function. The only change that we have to make here will be the case statement with respect to question ID. So the second expression will have question ID equal to 102, and then take the response value, and this column we will name as recommend to friends, recommend underscore to underscore friends. And the third column or the third expression will be based on question ID 103. Here it will be question ID equal to 103, then take the response value, and the column will be named as favorite underscore feature, that is favorite underscore feature. Now since we are using the aggregate function, we have to make use of the group by clause also here, that is group by respondent ID, respondent underscore ID, and also the final result we will order based on the respondent ID column, so that it is easy for us to read the insight. So we will write the order by clause, that is order by respondent underscore ID, which by default will be in ascending order. Execute this and we will be getting the expected output. So we can see that we have obtained respondent ID column as the first column, then satisfaction level will be the second column, and we have value corresponding to the satisfaction level. Then there is recommended to friends or not, that will be the third column and the corresponding value. And what is the favorite feature will be the fourth column, and the favorite feature is listed in the values. So this is the first method. Now we will see a second method based on which we can obtain the same output. Here we will make use of the concept of pivot function. So whenever we are writing a pivot function, the first thing that we require is a base query. So here we have the table survey responses. So in our base query, we require three columns, that is the respondent ID column, question ID column, and the responses value column. So here it will be select from the table, that is survey underscore responses. The first column that we require is the respondent underscore ID column, and the second column that we require is the question ID column, question underscore ID column. Third column that we require is the response underscore value column. Execute and we will get the three required columns. This will be the base query. Now we will place this base query within a parenthesis and we will call this query as source src. Now we will have to make use of the pivot function onto this column or this result. So pivot, open and close parenthesis, and inside the pivot function we will make use of an aggregate function, that is max of open and close parenthesis, and here take the maximum value of response value. So here response underscore value. Now we have to write a for clause, that is for question underscore id in open and close parenthesis, and within the parenthesis we have to specify the different values which are available in the question id. So here it will be 101, 102 and 103, which are the different three questions. So also we have to place the values within a square bracket. So the first value will be 101, second value will be 102, and the third value will be 103. Now this is the expression that we have to write within the pivot function, and we will call this pivot. And now write a select star and let us see what we are obtaining. Select star from the below query. Execute. And we will get a result where we have respondent ID. The first column name will be 101. That is the additional column which we created based on different question. And the second column based on the question ID 102 will be named as 102, but we have right values. Similarly, we have 103 as the third column corresponding to the question. So here we will make a slight modification, that is we will name the columns in the required format that we require. The first column will be respondent ID underscore ID. Second column will be 101, which will be named as satisfaction level. Copy, paste it here. Now the column name corresponding to 102 will be recommended to friends. Copy this. And the column name corresponding to 103 will be favorite feature. We will also copy the column name. Paste it here. Now execute and we will get the exact same result which we are looking to obtain. Execute. Now we have the result which we are looking to obtain, which is exactly same result which we obtained using the method 1. Now these are the two methods which we can make use of in order to obtain the output in the required format. Hope you like this video. If you like this video, check out our channel for more advanced SQL interview questions and other content in analytics. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more. Thank you.